Hi there, it's Jen, and it is Friday, January 2nd. Welcome back. Hope you had a happy holiday. I'm here live with you. I'm going to make a Stampin' Up! Card from start to finish. I'm sorry I'm a couple minutes late, just tech stuff, and I see I haven't closed my closet door, which I like to close before I do videos, but just coming back from holidays. So anyways, so the first thing I like to do when I do a live is to do a draw for the card that I made the week before. Now this was a couple weeks before, but let me just show you here. What I made was this cute little stamped card here. It was this one that I did. I did add some gems to it after the live, but you can see here, you are simply fabulous. And so this is a new stamp set that is coming out. There are two things coming out in January. This catalog, I say in January, it is January, but it starts January 6th. And also online exclusives, which I have a list here. I can't open either one. That's the rules. I'm not allowed to show them until they're actually live. But if you're on my newsletter list, which I will pop up here so you can make sure you get on. So just stamp with Jen2Ns.com. If you get on my newsletter list, you'll be sure and see those things when they go live. So the stamp set I'm using today is actually from this mini catalog. So without further ado, let me do a draw for this card here, this very cute card that I made previous week, and we will do that. I'm just going to share my screen. If you're there with me, please let me know. If you are new joining me, let me know, or if you're watching the replay. So here we go. I've got a little screen set up. Anyone who commented, liked, or shared is in the draw. As long as you're Canadian and not a demonstrator, you can win. So I'm just getting here. Beth, hello to Beth. We're getting here a pen, which seems to all disappeared over the holidays. Congratulations, Beth. Beth says, so pretty. Okay, so here we go. Beth, this card is yours. I will pop it in the mail to you. So let me just stop that share and pop back here. And I've got a couple comments here from Nicole and Vila. How are you? How are you? Happy New Year to you both. Thanks for joining me today. Okay, so I am going to pop here to my screen and I'm going to show you what we're going to do today. So I'm using, let's start with the stamp set, this one here. It's called Hope, Love, and Joy. And hopefully, I'm just looking to see if I have any of my Christmas cards left. No. Okay. I did do something with joy. But anyways, this is a new stamp set that is available or will be available on the 6th. And yes, it could be Christmas because it's got some Christmas stuff. In fact, I've got some little cards at the end. I'm going to show you where I did do some Christmas things with it. But it's so you can do joy, hope, or love. You can put the O in, or you can put in one of these little things, which is kind of cute. So like, for instance, if you were sending something to someone who was, coping with some cancer or something, there's a little ribbon and you could color it correctly or whatever. So I just think this is kind of cute and certainly appropriate for Valentine's Day. And then the dies, I'm going to show you this piece because it's bigger to see, but it cuts out all of these pieces plus more. So there's one with just a flower, for example. There's one that has this heart, but then there's also an inside heart if you wanted. So there's a bunch of different things you can do with that. So here they are. You can see there's a little teeny tiny star. Then, like I said, you can do the inside of that heart if you want to as well. So very cute stamp set. Here's this piece is separate too. So there's lots of little things you can do. I mean, you can always just use these little pieces individually. Just use the words as is. Fill the world with joy, hope, love. Wishing you joy, hope, love. So it's really cute stamp set. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp something that we are going to die cut. So I want to get that going. Hello, Donna. How are you? Thanks for joining. So I've got here Strawberry Slush ink. And I'm going to stamp on here. I've just got a piece of white. I'd say it's a scrap, but it doesn't look like a scrap. It's a very big piece of white. Probably was a card base. Oh, and I see I've got a cat or a dog hair right there that's going to mess that up. So let me just stamp that again. Sorry. So this is Strawberry Slush. I'm stamping the LVE in Strawberry Slush. That could be live too. And then I'm going to stamp the little heart here with the Tuxedo Black. Oops. Boy, I'm rusty here. Do you see that? I tried to put the lid of the memento onto this. So here's a little extra tip if you do happen to get ink See that ink right there on your ink pad? Just take a baby wipe and give it a wipe sooner rather than later so that it doesn't sink into the pad. And then you can see where I wiped the ink off. You could take an ink refill. In fact, I'm not even sure if that's not right. An ink refill and just put a few drops in that. I'm just going to close that up and see if it regenerates itself there. Okay. That was a good way to start it off. I always say I've been stamping for over 23 years now, and 22 years. I have to calculate that. If I can stamp and make a mess like I do, then you definitely can stamp if you're new. So no worries there. Stamping is one of those crafts that anyone can do, right? Because the artwork is done for you. So I've just got a light bubble bath marker here, and I'm just coloring in this heart, just like that. And then I take a strawberry slush. I think I'm going to go with the dark. I can't remember what I did on my sample because I did it before the holidays. And I'm going to go around here. I started taking a painting class. Again, I have taken them before. Now I'm going to go in with the dark bubble bath here. And I'm going to try the bullet tip, but I might move to the other tip. And I'm just swirling it here to just try and bleed out that line a little bit. I'll show you, and you can see the left half as opposed to the right half. See that here? Oh, and I'll take off that banner too. Sorry about that. Hide. There we go. So I'm going to do this one as well. Just a little bit. It's not blending as nicely as I want it to, so I think I'm going to bring in the light strawberry slush. And do that along the edge here too. You know what? Every time I've made this, I've made it differently. So let me go back in with the light and see if we can blend that out a bit more. I just want it to be a little faded in. There we go. That's pretty. What do you think? Okay, so hello to June. How are you today? Okay, so I've got those things there. So now I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, which is over here. Oh, I was starting to tell you a story too. Oh, let me see if I can actually multitask here. I'm going to take the stand up a little bit so you can see what I'm doing here. So I'm going to put this in here, and I'll come back to the story. Don't let me forget. I'm going to start with this heart die. Just want to make sure you guys can see this. I'm going to swing this over a bit. There we go. So I've got this piece here. I'm going to get a fresh piece of tape. And this is the die. This tape is on my under products Jen recommends. It is tape that I get from Amazon. It is removable tape, so I love it because I can position right where I want something and put this tape down. It's not going to rip the paper, and it's not going to let that die move, especially small dies like this. They're easily moved. Okay, so that's that one. And then I have another set of dies right here. You've seen me use these before. These are the Textured Notes dies, and I think it's this one. Yes, so see how that just fits perfectly around there. I'm going to do that. I'm also going to tape this in place. Now you could stamp this first, or cut it out first and then stamp it. But because I was already die cutting, I thought I'll just die cut it all now too. Okay, and I'm going to put this in. So this is plate, if you're using the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, plate 1, plate 2. This all comes with the machine. Then I've got the clear plate, which is plate 3, the paper and the die, and then another clear plate. And away we go through the machine, like so. Crash, boom, bang. Okay, I'm just going to move this over. And this, and this. I'll put this stand down. Whee! Okay, so let's see what we got here. See how that just comes right out. Oh, love it. Look at that. I love it. Okay, and then the little heart. And of course, we will keep this paper to use for later. Even the back side of that little mistake we'll use for later. Cute. Okay, I'll put that away. Move these to the side. And I'm also just going to put this die away because I have learned if I don't put them away right away, then they tend to go missing. Okay, so now that we have that, I'm also going to stamp with My memento again, and my heart again. I know that seems crazy, doesn't it? And I'm going to just stamp the little heart here. And it's because I'm going to put it on dimensionals, so I find that sometimes you can sort of see, so I kind of want the shape there. And this is Wishing You, and I'm just going to stamp it on this piece of scrap first because I don't want to get this wrong. So I often test things out on a piece of scrap to make sure it's stamping the way I want it first. Wishing you love. How cute is that? And I think, well, I have the markers here too. I'm going to just give a little outline around here to that, so that if you can see the edge through the die cut piece that's going to go on top, this piece is going to go on top, that little heart, then you'll at least see some color there. Okay, so the paper, I'm going to put this over here so I don't lose it. Actually, you know, let me just put this right on the dimensional right now so it's not going missing. Here we go, dimensionals. One will do it, one big one. Right over top like that. Wishing you love. How cute is that? And like I said, if you can sort of see from the edge of the card, maybe that. So I like to kind of stamp that underneath as well. Okay, so I'm going to put that aside. I'm going to show you the Designer Series paper I'm using. Also new in the mini catalog. This is called Made with Love. Let me pull this all out so you can see it. You can see that I've already broken into a bunch of it. So the colors on this are Bubble Bath, Flirty Flamingo, Poppy Parade, Real Red, and Strawberry Slush. Hence the reason I use Strawberry Slush. But look at all these pretty patterns that are absolutely perfect for Valentine's Day. Look at that, little arrows. And on the back side, we've got hearts in kind of a gradation of color. Very pretty. This one, we've got some, this looks like Strawberry Slush, maybe, and Flirty. And pretty little flowers on the other side. That's Bubble Bath. And we've got this one here. Same one. This one. It's got some pretty little hearts. I think the background is Flirty on that one, and then maybe Real Red and White. It's very pretty. And then just some little hearts. You almost can't tell that they're hearts. So you could almost get away with using that paper after. It's definitely this one, because this one's just some lines. It almost looks 3D. And then a bunch of the hearts and all the colors. Then we've got this one, which is polka dots, so perfect for after Valentine's Day, and a bunch of the hearts, just a different size. This one, we've got a diagonal, again, good colors for after, good pattern, and then the X and O. I think that's everything that I've done yet. So I'm just going to put all this aside here, and what I've done is I've cut 4 little pieces here that we're going to use, and the measurement on these is 1 3/4 by 2 and just a little bit over 1/4. So they're all exactly the same. So I've got a piece here of Strawberry Slush. I love this color because it's almost like a pinky red is what it is. And I'm going to just lay these out here. And this is 5 by, let me just double check that. I've got it on, I don't know if you can see this here, but I've got it on my glass mat so I can measure 5 by 3 3/4 is the size of that. So it's just a little smaller than the normal mat that I would do. And I'm going to lay these out. This one actually kind of does have a right and a wrong way to go because the hearts are kind of in one way, but the other ones are sort of non-directional, so you can do mix and match however you want. If you use this side, it would be directional, but this side is not. So you can put them together any way you want, and I think any of these patterns would work, right? So very pretty. So I'm just going to lay those out and get my seal out. Actually, I may just use liquid glue for this. I know, liquid glue is crazy for me to use. Vila says, very pretty paper. It is pretty paper. And, you know, I think I can get most of the things I want to do for Valentine's Day out of that one piece of paper, because it is 1 pack of paper, because it's got all the right patterns and they all match, of course. So I'm using liquid glue so that I can reposition things, aka get my fingers all mucky, because you've got a little bit of time till that dries. I don't think that's going to be in the corner enough. There we go. Try this one. You can see even just as I'm turning it over that all these other patterns would work too. Okay, here's where we see if we've got it right or not. That looks pretty good. A little bit of glue right there. And this one, tell me, are you liquid glue people? Are you seal, double-sided tape? What do you use? So I prefer my double-sided tape. But for things like this where you do have to sort of inch it into place, it is kind of good to have a liquid glue. This one needs to go up a little bit. Hopefully I haven't stuck it down too much. Might be staying right there. That looks pretty good, I'd say. What do you think? Okay, and then I have a piece of Bubble Bath. I've actually already folded it in half. I don't know why I did that ahead of time, but I did. So again, just bringing through some of those colors. And I'm going to put my seal, my favorite product, for attaching cards on here. So you can see there's a bit of a wider border than I normally would do on a card layer, but I kind of like that pink showing through. It's very pretty. Hello, Robin. How are you? And Nicole says she likes to see different ways to use the DSP. Well, this is a great way to use DSP. You could use this pattern for anything. Excuse me, because it just works, especially when the colors are all matching. It's perfect. And then we're going to add this like that. And I'm going to use dimensionals as well for this. Dimensionals on dimensionals. Now, if you're mailing a card like this, you may want to lose one layer of dimensionals just so it fits through the slot in the mailbox. That is my sticky fingers. I've yet to learn the trick of not getting sticky fingers when I use that liquid glue. So if you have a trick for me, let me know. Because I seem to always get a little bit sticky. That's why I like my seal. It's nice and clean. Okay, so here we go. Taking off the back of those dimensionals. Wishing you love. I'm going to put that on a bit of an angle. So pretty. And we still see the DSP, which is nice. There is also a ribbon, a new ribbon. And you know, I'm not 100% sure if this is in the mini catalog or if it's in the online exclusives. I think it's in there. I'm going to peek, but I can't show you, so I'm just putting it off to the side here. I'm sorry. Those are the rules. Let me see here. Ribbon. See if there's an index at the back so I can check. Ribbons. Bubble Bath. Oh, no, that says faux linen. This is not faux linen. Page 31. Let me just check. Oh, I think it is, actually. Oh, yeah, I can see that. I'll show you. It's very tiny, which is nice. It is a, what is it here? They're doing the, here we go. I'm looking for the inches. 1/8 of an inch ribbon. So it's nice and tiny. And it's Bubble Bath. So it's going to match the back of our card. And I'm going to just wrap this into a bow. Is that the correct terminology? So I usually just start with a big loopy bow. And then I pull until I get the look I want. So I want kind of a petite looking bow here, because this is very petite ribbon. And yes, I do keep it on the spool so that I'm cutting excess off of this end, but not here. Here I'm cutting exactly what I need. I just find it's less wasteful. So I'm going to do cut there, cutting it on an angle, put that ribbon aside. And then I'm going to grab a glue dot. And you know, it's earlier when I was setting up, I thought, I got to remember to grab my glue dots from wherever bin I had them. And I didn't grab them. So hold on, I'm going to see if I've got another set in the wings here. There we go. I like to craft in front of the TV a lot, so I often have my stuff in front of the TV. And that's exactly what those glue dots are. I'm going to grab my Take-A-Pick tool. And I'm going to grab a glue dot. I'm just going to switch around to this end here, at this end. Brand new set of glue dots. First one. And I'm going to stick it right here. I think I'm going to use 2. Just because I like to be sure it's going to stick. And then I'm going to stick the knot part right down on there. So pretty. Of course, we need to add some bling. Okay, so I've got here these things, Strawberry Slush and Pretty in Pink. They're in the main catalog. As you can see, I've already used a bunch of these. So they have this Strawberry Slush, Pretty in Pink, and then this white. And they all have a little bit of gold in them. I don't know if you can see that. Very pretty. Okay, so because I've got both colors in here, well, actually not Pretty in Pink, but I think I can get away with a darker one if I wanted to. So I'm going to add the darker one. And then we'll add lighter. And I'm also going to put one right on top there. Wishing you love. How pretty is that? And then you could put a piece of white inside if you want, but this is pretty light, so you could pretty much use that too right on. I'm going to just grab my original, but I think it's pretty much the same. Yeah, I did a good job. So let me show you a couple other little cards that I've made with this stamp set. Now these were Christmas, but like I said, this stamp set just automatically would suit Christmas. I really want to use the earth thing. I think that would be nice for joy or hope or something. Okay, so here we go. They're just little wee cards. So they're these ones. So they were to go on the boy and girl presents. I know I'm stereotyping there with the colors. This is Cloud Cover, and this is Bubble Bath and Fresh Freesia. No, Petunia Pop, I think. I can't remember. I think it's Fresh Freesia, actually. But they're both very pretty. So this is Secret Sea and Cloud Cover, and they just say, wishing you so much joy, with the little snowflake and the little rhinestone in the middle. Just a simple little card. And the same with the boy version, because we had nieces and nephews over and stuff. So there we go, those two. So yeah, I'm really loving the stamp set. I think it's very pretty, and you know, there's lots of praying hands there you could do, or maybe they're thanks. I'm not sure. The star. Like, I just think this is just a really nice little stamp set to have in your collection for when you need cards like this. But this design, you could totally use it, like Nicole was saying, for anything, right? Nicole says, this is a beautiful card. Well, thank you. I love it too. Okay, so let me just pop my face back in here. I feel like there's something else I was going to tell you. Oh, yeah, if you don't have the catalog, hopefully you've got it. If I mailed it to you, hopefully it's arrived. But if you don't have it, let me know. And if you don't have a demonstrator, I'm happy to give that to you. And then, like I said, in my newsletter on Tuesday, you'll see a link to it. Plus, it'll be on my website, as well as the online exclusives here. Ta-da. There's a little sheet with them all on it. Also on Tuesday, there are three new kits coming out, and a new promotion. So all that was detailed in my newsletter that just went out yesterday. It was late in the day, but it went out. But again, it'll all be in there Tuesday. So I think that's everything that I want to tell you. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you've had a happy holiday. We're off today to do the last of our holiday stuff, and that is a get together with my side of the family, just because they were all busy prior to Christmas. So looking forward to that and unwrapping some presents with them and playing some games and all that stuff. So hello, Elizabeth. Happy New Year to you too. So enjoy the rest of your holidays, and I will see you all again next Friday. Take care. Thanks for joining me today. Bye-bye now. Have a lovely weekend.